How do I know what customer feedback to listen to and what to ignore? I love this question. The good news is that it means people care, and that's the first step to scaling any startup. And I know this sounds cliche, but a lot of what you're going to hear from customers is just wrong. And that is true, especially for your early adopters. They're outliers and outlaws. They love new stuff, or maybe they even know you personally. Maybe they want to be part of something new. These are not what your users down the line are probably going to look like as you scale. These are early adopters. They're called that for a reason. The folks hanging out all day on Product Hunt are probably not your long term viable users. Collect all the data you can. So, my general advice here is to listen to any and all feedback and get as much as you can reasonably collect. But know what they say, and those folks that are yelling and screaming at you, they may not have the best interest of your company in mind over the long term. And they certainly don't know your model like you do. But there are two elements to feedback: qualitative, which is talking to customers. I urge you to have open-ended interviews. Don't go in with a big agenda, because you're basically going to hear back what you're asking. You'll bring your own bias into the mix. And watching user behavior is another example of this. And on the quantitative side, this is the data that you have on usage patterns or from something like an NPS survey, right? So you can use both of those. Qualitative data becomes potential experiment or feature ideas. And I like to take all customer inputs and actually drop them into a spreadsheet that's categorized and organized. And you basically sort that on weight based on how often more than one customer asks for the same thing. In the early days, and if you've got a small team, what you're going to look for here is that customers are asking for the same thing over and over again. And if you build that thing, it's going to solve some pain point that they're willing to pay for, right? You want to hear that from multiple people, ideally the majority. And then quantitative, this data actually gives you actual signal in the noise. So that plus your quantitative and your qualitative, if you take all that and put that into a framework like RICE or my ICE framework, which we'll get into in the next module, you can measure basically the reach you'll get from these ideas against the efforts you need to put against them. And then you rank those on lowest effort first and highest return first at the top, and then you work your way through that list, and you end up with a really nice set of things that you should work on basically in the right order. So